How's it going, everybody? JP here, and this is going to be my predictions for UFC 165. I decided to keep rolling with these things. These videos seem a little bit easier to do, don't really need much preparation, and I kind of enjoyed talking some UFC every once in a while. First up, let's recap my last predictions, which was UFC Fight Night 27, I believe, which was Glover Teixeira versus Ryan Bader. Just really quickly, um, I only picked four of the fights. I ended up going 3-1, and that brings my total record to, I believe, 9-3. I picked the Rafael Natal fight right. I picked the Joseph Benavidez fight right. That one was pretty easy. And then the Jacare Souza Yushin Okami fight. I got that one right, but it really surprised me the outcome. I did not see Yushin Okami losing the fight that way. And then finally, I did pick Ryan Bader versus Glover Teixeira, and at first I was thinking, as the fight was going on, I was like, I might have got this right because Ryan Bader was, tagging up Glover Teixeira a bit, and then he just gets knocked out. So, Bader once again burns me. I've picked him multiple. I think I even picked him in the Lyoto Machida fight. So I don't know. Might not pick Bader anymore in fights that I think that he might lose. So Glover Teixeira, I really don't see. He didn't show anything. He didn't give off anything to think that he has something for John Jones. If anything, he kind of hurt his stock a bit because he didn't do to Bader what he should have if he's going to be fighting John Jones, if he's going to be the guy to beat John Jones. So really, I'm really not looking forward to Shera fighting John Jones. I'd say he needs at least like one or two more fights. So yeah. Anyway, I went 3-1 in that, and like I said, it brought my record to 9-3 since for the past two events. And let's move on to UFC 165. Alexander, John Jones versus Alexander Gustafsson. Um, the first fight is Pat Healy versus Khabib Nurmagomedov, and this fight is very interesting to me. Because for one, Pat Healy had that awesome performance against Jim Miller, had all of his money taken away after it was changed to a no contest because he tested positive for marijuana, um, which just really, really sucks for him. So he might be really, really hungry, really wanting to prove that he, deserves what he got last time, and that he's just gonna try to like destroy Nurmagomedov. But um, on the other hand, Nurmagomedov is coming off as such a dominant performance against Abel Trujillo, and he just really was completely in control. And I kind of, Pat Healy's no Abel Trujillo, but I really don't know if Pat Healy can hang with Nurmagomedov's grappling. Um, I think Healy could possibly knock him out, but I really kind of see it maybe Nurmagomedov getting some kind of submission, and kind of taking out Pat Healy, which kind of sucks because I really feel bad for Pat Healy. So I wouldn't mind seeing him win, but at the same time, I don't think he's going to. So I'm gonna go with Nurmagomedov by submission. Second fight, we have middleweight Costa Philippou versus Francis Carmont. And I really don't have a whole lot to say about this one. I think both fighters are on like a 5-fight winning streak, which is pretty interesting considering I don't think anybody's close to a title shot out of either fighter. And that's a 5-fight winning streak in the UFC. I believe Francis Carmont has a few wins outside of the UFC that's also included in his streak, but um, they both have 5 wins in the UFC in a row, and they're fighting each other. So I think I'm gonna go with Costa Philippou, maybe by knockout ish, probably. I'd say that. So next up we have heavyweight Brendan Schaub versus Matt Meathead Metrione, and both of these are former NFL players. They were both on season 10 of The Ultimate Fighter, which was the Kimbo Slice season, the heavyweight season that actually was pretty bad. It's one of the seasons that I kind of think of as one of the worst seasons in recent memory. And they were friends. I think they're kind of beefing now that they're fighting each other. Brendan Schaub, I really don't care for too much. Um, I think he's going to try to do what he did with LeVar Johnson, which might be possible against Matt Metrione and would probably make for a boring fight. I think Matt Metrione's going to just go for the knockout, and it's been shown before that Brendan Schaub can be knocked out. Even though it's heavyweight, he definitely can be knocked out, and obviously anybody could be knocked out at heavyweight, but Brendan Schaub is definitely somebody who could be knocked out, and Matt Metrione can do it. I think he's gonna just come out fast, try to get right to Brendan Schaub, not try to get into the grappling matches and stuff, and I think he's gonna knock out Brendan Schaub. So I'm gonna go with Matt Metrione. Could get burned on this one because Schaub could do what he did against LeVar Johnson. That moves us to the co-main event, which is a championship fight. It's pretty awesome having 2 championship fights, and I think it's a good way to sell Barao because honestly, I don't really, bantamweight's probably my least favorite division, and I really don't care about a lot of bantamweights besides like Uriah Faber. I wouldn't say I don't care. It's just I'm not gonna, buy a pay-per-view based on Renan Barao title fight or whatever. It's probably my least favorite champion, and I really don't care to watch his fights, go out and buy them. So it's a good way to get me to, possibly enjoy Renan Barao a little bit more if he shows something awesome in this fight. I may be happy to purchase a Renan Barao pay-per-view in the future. Um, but yeah, so Renan Barao versus Eddie Wineland. I don't really see Eddie Wineland as a #1 contender type of thing. It's almost silly to me how messed up the bantamweight division is because you have like Uriah Faber who has lost his title fights, but still he's the most dominant #1 contender out there, and he just can't fight those. They don't want to throw him in another title match right away, which just sucks because it's really the only person I care to see challenge right now. Michael McDonald, I was interested in that one back when that happened, but now I'm not really don't really care too much about Eddie Wineland. Renan Barao should take this one, probably maybe a submission or something. Um, and I really want Dominic Cruz to get back so you can do the champion versus unify the belts and stuff. Because I'm really getting I think a lot of people are getting tired of it being the interim champion chip instead of the regular bantamweight champion. But I really think they waited this long. They might as well, unless Dominic Cruz doesn't come back for like another year or something. I think they should just wait on him now. And he I really, I'm interested in a Dominic Cruz versus Renan Barao fight, even though Dominic Cruz has been out for like 2 years or something. Um, so until then, I'm just not that interested in bantamweight until Uriah Faber, Dominic Cruz, or somebody is challenging. And I really don't care for like Renan Barao just doesn't seem like a good champion to me. So yeah. Next up, we'll go to the main event, and that is the light heavyweight champion Chip John Jones versus Alexander Gustafsson, one of those. Swedish guy. I like Alexander Gustafsson, and I like his fights. I just don't really see any thing showing that he's going to beat John Jones. And really, I haven't seen that in a while, since Rashad Evans, John Jones, but it really is getting to the point where I'm only want to see, the John Jones fight because I want to see how John Jones is going to perform. I want to see how he's going to beat the other guy. None of these fights really that have potential to be made seem that competitive to me, and I know a lot of other people too. Um, I don't want to see John Jones versus Glover Teixeira. Daniel Cormier is probably the most interesting, but even that one doesn't, completely interest me. It just is more interesting than Gustafsson or Teixeira or anybody else in the light heavyweight division that I can think of. Um, so, I just don't see any reason why Jones would lose this fight. It is interesting that he's fighting someone that's more his size than normally. So that could play into it a bit, but I doubt it. I'd say Jones by some kind of weird submission. He's probably going to get a submission. I feel him feeling a submission on this one. Um, and Yeah. So I really want to see Jones move up to heavyweight. This if he wins this fight, he'll pass Tito Ortiz's title defenses, which I believe he always said. After he breaks that record, he'll move up to heavyweight, and Cain Velasquez versus John Jones, or Junior Dos Santos versus John Jones, or whoever is up there versus John Jones is just so much more interesting than anything at light heavyweight right now. And I almost think it would be a good thing for the division. You make Jones go up there to heavyweight and see how that plays out. But at the same time, at light heavyweight, we could see the Glover Teixeira and the Alexander Gustafssons and everybody else. Kind of, we can crown a new champion and um, have a little bit more competitive title fights at light heavyweight, or Phil Davis or whoever. And at the same time, if Jones is successful at heavyweight, he can reign up there for a little while, and he could always just go back and prove that nobody at light heavyweight could have beat him anyway. So I think that would just be the best case scenario. But for some reason, I'm just not thinking that a Jones move to light heavy or to heavyweight will happen anytime soon. I just don't see it happening for some reason. So yeah, after that, I guess I'll just throw in a few of the other picks. I'm gonna go with in the preliminary card. I'm gonna go with Mike Ricci over Miles Jury, Ivan Menjivar over the Wilson guy, who I'm not familiar with, and Stephen Thompson over Chris Clements. So, oh yeah, and I'll go with Alex Caceres versus that Roland Delarome, or whatever the hell his name is. Um, Alex Caceres, I think, is a really interesting, fun bantamweight, and it's interesting that he's still on the Facebook/YouTube card. Anyway, this predictions has gone on pretty long. So taking just a little recap. I'm taking Jones, Henan Barao, Matt Metrione, Costa Philippou, and Habib Nurmagomedov. Mike Ricci, Ivan Menjivar, Stephen Thompson, and Alex Caceres. So check you guys next time, and peace.